nice. Give me a 12 grain. And a kebab.
The kebabs are going to be 5 minutes. I'll be back.
We are in the Charlestown Shortline Cafe. Dinner for Charlestown residents is over and employees are home. The Shortline Cafe takes its name from the Catonsville Shortline Railroad. A section of the rail ran along the northern border of the Charlestown campus. In 1881, among citizens led to a plan for implementation of a branch railroad to link Catonsville and Baltimore. As hundreds of other communities in the nation, Catonsville citizens sought direct rail service. This Catonsville Shortline would support their commercial interests and expansion. It would bring coal for its institutions and lumber and bricks for new buildings. The Catonsville Shortline Railroad first made runs in 1884 and continued until 1973. This video will trace the route of the Shortline Railroad. Economic changes led to its demise, but its heritage is alive. Join us on a heritage walk along the old Catonsville Shortline Railroad. All aboard! The Catonsville Shortline is now boarding for Bloomsbury, State Asylum, Paradise, Kenwood, Cloud Cap, Beachfield, Primrose, Loudon Park, and all points between to the final stop, Calvert Station, Baltimore. All aboard! Catonsville Shortline started passenger and freight service in November 1884. The picture shows the Shortline depot on the right at the southeast corner of Frederick Road, Old Frederick Turnpike, and Mellor Avenue. Bill's Music now stands at the approximate location of the Shortline Railroad's best customer, Wilson Lumberyard, on the left. What was a coal storage yard is now an athletic field. What were warehouses are now a row of retail shops and activities. Old rails are embedded in the avenue. Bloomsbury! The rail bed is visible, but covered with brush, and now a place deer can rest without fear of being hit by the train. The rail, parallel to Mellor Avenue, turns northeast through a short tunnel under Bloomsbury Avenue. After collapse, the tunnel was filled. Today, a short climb where the tunnel had been will reach and cross Bloomsbury to our next station. State Asylum. A mile from Bloomsbury Station, we arrive at State Asylum Station. Spring Grove Hospital Center, founded in 1797, is the second oldest continuously operating psychiatric hospital in the United States. It depended on the Shortline freight services to deliver coal to its power plant. When Spring Grove converted from coal to oil in early 1970s, Shortline finances became unsustainable. Its last run was in April of 1972. Exposed intact rails and ties through the right-of-way are along Spring Grove and embedded across Wade Avenue. Interstate 695 was constructed in the 1950s. A bridge for a rail overpass was built, which was then dismantled around 1972 to allow a wider beltway. A noise abatement wall sits at the site of the East Bridge abutment, about 50 feet from the Shady Nook Avenue. Old rails are embedded in the avenue. Paradise! Hiking along the trail from Paradise Station, we come to Maiden Choice Lane, site of Kenwood Station. Here, we talk to a group of volunteers cleaning the trail and removing broken and cleared tree branches. Cloud Cap was part of a 55-acre estate owned by Dr. Nathan Smith, professor of surgery, Johns Hopkins. It was acquired from Dr. Smith by the St. Mary's Seminary in 1885 to be a retreat center. Cloud Cap. We are near the location of the Cloud Cap Station, renamed later St. Charles College Station. This stop is filled with history. Its original name came from the name of an estate called Cloud Capped. Its relatively higher elevation gave residents a clear view of the Baltimore Harbor. It is reported that they saw attacking British ships sailing toward Fort McHenry in 1814, enabling them to give early warning to Baltimore. A siding was built to accommodate train deliveries, coal for the heating plant, marble from Italy for the chapel interior, and one of the most important deliveries was the original organ from Canada. In a letter written in 1919, within the last few days, 2 freight cars arrived on our siding, and word quickly flew around that the wonderful new organ had arrived. Installation has begun. We hope to hear the sonorous peal of the great pipes by the end of the Christmas holidays. Father Leo guided us on a tour of the organ loft.
They stressed music very much because, like in the days when this organ came here, a lot of the music in the church was chant, Gregorian chant. In 1996, because the chapel just sat and the organ was ruined. But some of it is original. This, and I can explain to you why this choir loft are the wooden pipes. I don't know if you can see the wooden pipes, but actually the biggest of the wooden pipes.
Wonder what the cloth is on there. Is that the sort
I don't know what that's for. Unless it's just to hold them in place.
Oh.
I think that's what it's doing, holding them in place.
After crossing Maiden Choice Lane, we walk the rail to trail between the south edge of the Baltimore National Cemetery. At the end of the rail to trail, 2 benches offer a chance to sit and rest. Looking south, over the wooden fence, Brookside is visible through the trees. Beachfield! The next station, going east from Cloud Cap St. Charles School Station, is Beachfield Stop. Rail is embedded where it crossed Beachfield Avenue and entered into Loudon Park Cemetery. The elevation grade for the 2.9 miles between Beachfield and Catonsville was steep for small engines when the short line was built. Going west, One can imagine slowing of the train as the engine puffed. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Going east from Beachfield Station to Primrose Stop. Primrose! The Primrose family owned land that is now part of Loudon Park Cemetery. The Primrose Stop, no doubt, was a condition for giving right-of-way for the railroad to cross Primrose property. The William Primrose Monument in Loudon Park is a short distance from the railroad. Embedded tracks are in a cemetery road leading to the monument. 6 passengers boarded on the first run, but later the train averaged 300 passengers a day. It took about 30 minutes from Catonsville to Calvert Station. Demand for 6 passenger trains per day diminished. Passenger service was discontinued by 1898. Cheaper fares and quicker service on the newly completed electric-powered trolleys network drew passengers away from riding the Catonsville Shortline. Freight needs were still active: coal for heating and power needs, building materials as Catonsville expanded from a village to a suburb, and other commercial needs. A walkway of original slabs of slate still paved the way to the site of the station. Loudon Park. Here we are, the end of the Shortline rail with the Pennsylvania Rail. We have traveled about 4 miles since leaving Catonsville. 5 more miles on the Pennsylvania Main Line. We will arrive at our final destination, Calvert Street Station, Baltimore. Calvert Station, Baltimore. The Calvert Street Station was demolished in 1950 to give room for the Baltimore Sun Building. Instead of a busy rail activity, the Sun Building is bounded on the south by Route 40 Viaduct and on the east by Jones Falls Expressway. We are fortunate at Charlestown to have the Catonsville Shortline Trail just north of the campus. It is an ideal safe walk on those warm Maryland winter days. It is one of the Catonsville Heritage Trails, a part of the Catonsville Rails to Trail program. The Shortline Trail is a walking trail that follows the bed of the old Catonsville Shortline Railroad from Shady Nook Avenue to wood benches within sight of Charlestown, Brookside. The trail has 3 parts. Between Shady Nook Avenue and Paradise Avenue, 0.2 of a mile. Between Paradise Avenue and Maiden Choice Lane, 0.4 of a mile. And between Maiden Choice Lane and the east end of the trail to the north side of the wood fence. So, hit up your hiking boots. Grab your camera and cell phone, and you are ready to go. A good place to start walking on the trail is where it crosses Maiden Choice Lane, about 0.6 of a mile north on Maiden Choice from Charlestown entrance. Curbside parking is usually available on Garden Ridge Road, a few yards from the trail. You can walk 0.5 of a mile east on the hard-packed gravel, 8-foot wide trail to wooden benches at its end and some sit-down rest. Charlestown buildings are visible across the wooden fence and the campus loop road. National Memorial Cemetery is fully visible. Once you are in shape, also consider doing the west half of the trail from Maiden Choice Lane to Shady Nook Avenue, about 6/10 of a mile. With care, cross Maiden Choice, and you can hike 4/10 of a mile to Paradise Avenue. It's a good trail, but some areas of loose gravel. This part of the trail is not as well kept, but easily walkable. At Shady Nook, rails are visible, embedded in the road, and beltway traffic noise oppresses the air. After a deep breath, the return walk to your car at Garden Ridge will credit you with a total of 2 miles of good exercise, many breaths of out of doors, and a touch of Catonsville heritage.